Whoa. Alright, so just had the meeting with the boys. Pretty cruisy meeting, filmed it, gonna upload it. And yeah, we don't really have to do much with those sometimes. Just checking how they're going, making sure that they know what time to get their reports in each day. And yeah, I hear the boys crunching on something, so let's check. Trying to get outside. Good boys. Good boys. Alright. What we doing? Give us a recap.
Wasting time.
Yeah, gonna go get hold.
No.
Hold.
No!
I gotta lock up the door.
No! You can take it with you.
I want you to give me a recap.
No.
Well, a recap of this morning. Vincent decided he didn't want to do his check-in last minute, so I got mad, and I shouldn't have. And then I told him he was stuffing me over, but I was like, maybe should have just left it and talked to him about it later. It's always hard when you coach basically your family. So, yeah, that's a thing there, but I'll talk to him about it later. Just, teach. Now we're gonna go get some bubble tea. We are fasting from food today. And yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, we had a client call with one of our clients, obviously. Doing big things, making a big movement there. I'm gonna leave Yana locked out the car. It's raining. So go! Don't get the camera wet! Ah! The lens! I think I got the lens wet. Yeah, it's on there. Yep, and just found out this morning that Yana thinks that me doing what we did today is a massive waste of time, so I will double down and keep doing it. For you guys. For all the people that were going to help years down the lane by them being able to see what it was like on the come up.
No, I just think you don't need to do it every day, especially if you're always like, I didn't get the stuff I needed to get done today. And
I do get everything done that I need to get done today. And this. Because this is one of the things that I see as needing to get done every day. Alright. I say
Yeah, it was with Eugene Teo. There was one guy before that you were like, I don't follow him because I don't. Brett Contreras. Well, let's start one by one. I agree with a lot of what Eugene Teo says. There are just some small things that I disagree. No, there was a big thing I remember. You were like,
front foot elevators, squat progressions. Oh, I think it's like a pretty standard industry thing that a lot of people say. I don't know if it was about calories.
Yeah, it was something else.
It was about regressing something, basically, for the sake of it.
I'm sure it'll come to it. What about Brett Contreras?
Just his fancy exercises for all this stuff. How he'd be like, oh, you should do this and this for growing your glutes, and you have to have pump exercises, and you have to have these exercises and the bands for everything, and you've got to your pump side of things, you've got your fancy exercises, these kind of hip thrusts, all these variations.
Oh, it was the fact that you can just call yourself, say, the hypertrophy coach, but or the booty coach, but actually know very little about what you do, and you're just throwing junk volume.
I mean, same kind of thing with Renee. Is it's a lot of junk volume, but because you attract those kind of specialized individuals, there's some merit to what you do, but it's they just hit the basics and then market themselves really well.
Yeah.
as like, oh, I'm that guy, and then you attract those kind of individuals with your marketing and your branding.
Yeah.
And then as a result, you can just like, it feeds back in on itself. You can just keep showing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you could also argue that specialization. But
it's not in the technique.
Yeah.
It's just in the marketing.
In the group of individuals you attract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was also one other guy Paul Carter.
Yeah, he just gets bogged down in the mechanics. I just don't like how he's so awful to everyone. He just mistreats everyone
That could
else
be
and
your
has that superiority.
polarizing content. Like if your trainer treats people like trash, you shouldn't sign up with them.
It's not really me to say stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but I get what you're saying. That kind of reasoning.
Who else? Mark Carroll?
He's alright, just basic. So
Yeah.
I actually see a lot of merit in the fact that he does challenges and gets people a lot of results with that. I'm coming around more to challenges now. I know that a lot of coaches don't like it. I'm like,
Maybe you should talk about challenges. Your polarizing thoughts on challenges.
yeah. Because if you give someone 12 weeks for something, they're going to put in a lot of effort for 12 weeks because they know that it's done after that.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
But also leaves them wanting more because they got the results
yeah.
as a result.
It's like
Okay.
high motivation, faster results, and then you can also teach people how to sustain that. And it is a challenge, and it is supposed to be short term, because I think we get too caught up in like, oh, you can only do it in a sustainable way. What if we
Yeah.
did an unsustainable practice, but overall in a sustainable way? Because that's
Yeah.
fine. Like the fact is that weight loss is unsustainable. You can't just keep doing it unless you have cancer or something like that, and then that's not good. Like it's not supposed to be, oh yeah, I wanted to fit in my lifestyle.
That's the other
forever.
thing for you. It's not about sustainability.
Yeah. Each practice might not be sustainable in and of itself, but the overall, like when and where you utilize that practice intentionally, that will change. That can be sustainable, the long-term side of things.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand how I ended up where I ended up.
Or people are like, it's not healthy, and I'm like,
It's not supposed to be.
I mean, you weren't healthy when you got.
Yeah. Yeah. And like aggressive deficits and that I think are really useful.
Or
And
that's,
even people's thing where they're like, oh, discipline over motivation. I'm like, yeah. But I don't know, some people like don't use motivation at all. I'm like, it's kind of useful. I
like,
use
why
it.
make it hard for the sake of
Making it hard, yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you get more merit points?
Yeah.
I think that's about it. To be honest, because I was like, my brain tank feels.
I feel like I've got like one other thing floating around in my mind somewhere, so.
Yeah. Well, let's keep.
Okay, I'll turn back around. Because I was going to turn around that roundabout anyway.
What could it be that's floating around? If you had to know.
I don't know, but you asking is actually making it go a bit further away. So I'm like, because I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
That's alright. Yeah. I don't say that to be mean, I'm just letting you know like what's going on in my head.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Sustainability training happens to be the case. Mark Carroll's what we were talking about. Yeah, I think his stuff's pretty basic. Yeah. I think it's just the fact that it's the basics and the foundational stuff works best, and just being able to market yourself and do that accordingly is actually the thing more important there, and also being able to get your clients results. Oh, relative tracking, I think was one of the big things.
Yeah.
And actually using cardio for fat loss was another big one, because we were talking about how I did that with
Eugene
the G-Man.
too. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Cardio only for cardio only for health benefits, and shouldn't use it for fat loss.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you're a busy person as well,
that's your
what's more
niche.
appealing?
Yeah.
What's more appealing? Oh, go out and get 10,000 steps. I don't want to go for a walk. But if I was like, go do an hour of cardio.
Especially if it's at 8
different.
p.m. like at night, then like, okay.
Yeah. And also like walking's kind of boring. Like it's not intense enough is one of the big things. Like for me, I enjoy a little bit of a walk, but I'm like, that's not going to be all my cardio and my activity.
It's more for my mental health, you know?
Yeah.
Like your mental health as a whole.
Yeah. Clarity of mind and just like moving around a bit is nice. But I love like intensity. And I get that even with my cardio, I want to do not necessarily super high intensity, but I want to go like on the assault bike for an hour instead of going for a walk for an hour. That's much more appealing to me. Because then I can watch fights or something, do something whilst I'm doing it, do some work if I so choose to. Yeah, so like the cardio for fat loss is actually really useful if you're not naturally very active. Because I mean, I even did that for Jared, where it's like, instead of being like, oh, let's go get 10,000 steps a day. Yeah. Alright, I'm leaving that in. It was very much like,
I need to poop.
it was like, oh, let's do this instead. Let's get you to do an hour of cardio a day instead. But most coaches would be like, you should never do that.
Yeah.
Alright, so after that chat with Yana in the car, had some ideas, and that was good, solid, but my brain feels a bit like, so I'll push through. I did a bit of editing in that, gonna keep making my content, but I'm gonna go to the gym now and hit the bag just because I feel good about doing that. And like, there was a bit of a delay, and I was like kind of getting to that point where maybe I won't, but I can feel like getting to that point where if I don't do something now, and I know that I'm gonna stray away from work, just watch some videos of that, I'm not really gonna get anything done for the rest of today. And I know I need like this middle of the day kind of push to do what I'm looking forward to doing and want to do anyway, which is like, you know, getting my fitness in with hitting the bag and that. But yeah, just like, I just enjoy training, and it helps keep my mind pretty fresh. So I'm gonna get on that. Bring you with, and hopefully the tripod and the camera captures everything. I just had a quick thought I'm going to share, and I didn't bring the camera, but I just wanted to share it and put it in the thing. Super random. But one, with the Jump X lads we were talking to today, one of our business mentees, they were talking about how they had this issue where they were coming up to 50 clients, and the goal is 60, and then that's them at full capacity. But they kept getting to 49, and then they'd lose a couple of people, and then 49, and then lose a couple of people. And we talked about it today, and how Yana put it is, essentially Yana broke down the belief and was like, you do actually have, and allowed him to see, they do actually have the capability to have people stay long term and not just drop off. So essentially they weren't just people who were like, oh, we get to 49 and then like people will drop off. It's like that belief, like, oh no, we actually retain people and like have a good retention rate. And then boom, they hit 50 today, and then potentially 51. So yeah, it's pretty exciting doing stuff like that, because it's not even like huge strategy stuff. There's a lot of belief and that goes into it. I don't think it's a coincidence. And yeah, and the other thing was just this random thought that I had about something I've heard Andrew Tate say before, and I was going to ask Yana about it, but she's a bit biro, so I'm sure she'll hear me whilst I say this. But I just wanted to document it anyway, because she's writing something I'm assuming is very important. It's just like women don't understand that the world that... It's like men live in a world of danger, physical danger, and women don't understand that. So when it comes to like physical safety, protecting your girlfriend, your wife, your partner, that's the men's job, because they live in that world, because we're also blessed with the gift of being physical, being physically advantaged, like being naturally stronger, naturally larger. It's like, it's a gift to utilize, to actually protect. And the thought just popped into my head whilst thinking of that is like, I think men live in a world of physical danger, but women tend to live in a world... So it's like women don't really comprehend the extent of physical danger a lot of the time, but it's like women tend to live in a world with a bit more like psychological danger, I feel like, especially from other women. Like men, there's physical threats from other men, like not them threatening you all the time, but you know that it's possible. And then with women, it's like more psychological. From what I've seen, there's a lot more like, oh, what did she mean by that? And like being very on guard about that. And there's a lot more emotional manipulation that, whereas with guys, it's like, we just don't live in that world. Like you think about how you are with your guy friends, it's always very straightforward, pretty much. And it's like, and then guys are always like, oh, why, I don't understand why girls like this. But that's, I think, in part, largely because of the world that they live in. They have to be aware, like guarded for these things. They kind of have to play these games as such. So it's all they know, like they're raised with it. And it's kind of like just becomes a part of who they are until you're active about it in that. But it's still like very ingrained. Like even when I'm aware of like there's probably no danger, I still am ready for danger. Like you can't really remove yourself from that part of things. I don't seek it out, but you have to be aware of it. It's like just a subconscious thing. It's so deeply rooted. And same thing with like, I think women in more psychological danger, which in a lot of ways can actually be a lot worse, because it's like that's actually much more prevalent than like you would probably as a man get into like maybe 1 or 2 physical altercations in your life at most, for most guys, unless they live in that world of like they're actually around that all the time. But women, it's like you talk to people every day, and like women are mean to women a lot and like really judgmental from what I've seen, especially with young, especially when like people start getting successful, bro. Not good. Most of the guys I've talked to are all really like, yeah, bro, it's the best, like so good. And then some of them are like, but then a lot of women, they're just like, you're horrible. I'm like, where is this coming from? Huh?
Who said that to you?
No, as in like to you. Don't do it to me. I don't really know any women. I don't talk to anyone.
There's that Casey Kissy Fur person.
Oh, on Facebook? But I mean, she's not being mean to me. She's being nice. Yeah. But with some people that have been in your life and that, like, that's okay. And I guess sometimes my mum. So she's no me. Alright. Time to go. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think women play psychological fights. Or they're warriors of the mind.
I'm glad I filmed that. Oh, bye.